Twix might be joining for a little bit this morning, huh? Cup of tea. So I'm going to start seated and tuning into the natural breath. So I have a workshop coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be on Saturday the 14th. And essentially what this workshop involves is just talking about these breathing techniques and postures that we practice in our sequences or whenever we come to class, and how can we incorporate that into our daily life. Essentially all starting here, we can think about the natural breath. Lucas Rockwood refers to this as your water breathing. And by categorizing breathing techniques and postures as sort of these beverages that you might consume throughout the day, just brings a little more awareness to what they're actually doing to the body. So what are we recommended to do first thing in the morning is to take a glass of water. So as we do a check, just tuning in and allowing this natural breath to flow. Now for a sculpt class, it's nice to build a little, for a power class, it's nice to build a little bit more fire through the body before we begin. So I'm going to offer some more stimulating breathing exercises, good for the sympathetic nervous system. And essentially these breathing exercises are like your cup of coffee. So the exercise for this morning would be Kapalabhati breathing. If you prefer to stay with a natural breath, just allowing your breath to flow in and out. If you'd like to move into Kapalabhati, you're bringing the hands onto the knees, lengthening through the spine. We're taking a full breath all the way in through your nose, and a full exhale all the way out. And then for Kapalabhati, it's just about 20% breath in, and then we begin to rapidly draw the navel towards the spine, shooting the breath out through your nose for 20 repetitions. All the way out on the last breath, all the way in. Exhale. We'll repeat the same thing, adding 5 more repetitions, so 25. Full breath in. Full exhale. And final round, 30. Full inhale, full exhale. And if you'd like to introduce Ujjayi breath from here, adding the constriction of your throat, otherwise natural breath is fine. As we come into our tabletop and begin to move through cow and cat. Inhaling into the extension of the spine, shoulders back, heart forward. Exhale, tailbone tucks, belly button in, round and out, shoulders forward and chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times with the option to tuck toes, breath in. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. Neutral spine and tabletop. Spreading the fingers wide on the mat, tucking the toes. We begin to lift the hips and slowly extend through the legs, walking them out in downward facing dog. So as you pedal out through your legs here from left to right, I'm going to introduce you to Sthira Sukham Asanam, which is steadiness and ease in all postures or all parts of our life. I always like to mention this is a balance between not pushing yourself too far, but always offering that challenge that there's some sort of space of experience for growth. Particularly here in a power class, there can be some quite strong postures. I'll offer lots of modifications this morning, and you can choose which level you'd like to take it to. Slowing the walking motion, stationary in your downward facing dog, taking 3 breaths, inhaling through your nose. Open mouth, side release. Breath in nose. Exhale mouth. Breath in. Exhale. Right leg floats high to the sky. Shoulders stay squared as the right heel draws in towards the glutes, and then we're opening up the hips towards the right side of the room. Each time you inhale, lifting the right knee higher. Each exhale, squeeze the heel in, and then squaring up through the chest and pressing evenly through the whole hand. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. We're going to extend the right leg, keeping the hip open. And then square the hips as you draw the knee under the body into your tiger curl, knee through to chest or forehead. Holding for the inhale to protract the shoulders and press the floor away, and lightly stepping right foot through between the hands. Left knee lowers to the mat, toes tucked, arms sweep to the sky. Cactus arms, exhale. So you might just like to move through the arms here. Inhale, reaching them overhead. Exhale, cactus and down by the side. If you'd like to make it a little stronger, as you inhale and reach overhead, drive through the left toes, straight through both legs. Exhale. Hovering the left knee if you're taking the extended leg 2 more times, breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. So if you were doing the legs, we'll bring the left knee all the way down, hands to the floor. We're going to float the right leg all the way back behind the body, so the legs in line with the hips. Then we're doing the same thing here with the left arm reaching out in front of the body. Elbow to knee, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. We have another 3 of these if you'd like to make these stronger. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, and then exhale, elbow to knee. A little bit more for the balance. Breathing in. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Bringing the left hand to the floor. Right knee under the body. Back between the hands. Extending through the right leg. And untuck the left toes. Top of the foot pressing down. Half split, square the hips, inhale, exhale. So keep squaring the hips, drawing the left hip forward, pulling your right hip back, reaching the heart towards the big toe, and then hinging from the hips as you fold forward. 2 more breaths. And we'll take it through to supported side plank. Hands walking around the left side of the mat, swiveling on the grounded knee, right leg stays extended, reaching high to the sky, exhale. Maybe reaching top arm overhead. So drive the hips high, press them forward slightly, contract more through the left side of the body, reach and lengthen through the top. We'll switch the activation through the obliques. Now we start to contract the right side, lengthen through the left, into gate pose where we're hinging and leaning over the right leg. We'll bring hands down onto the hips. We'll swivel back towards the front of the mat. We're going to take the right leg back into a kneeling position and hands down into tabletop. Knees, chest and chin lower to the floor. Scoop and slide along into baby cobra. Flatten the tops of feet, flatten the hips. Rolling shoulders back, lifting your heart forward. Take a breath in. Exhale. Breathing in. Big toes together to touch, knees wide, hips all the way back to heels into child's pose. 2 breaths in child's pose. And then hips lift, toes tuck, legs extend, pressing back down and facing dog. 3 breaths, downward facing dog. Floating the left leg high to the sky, breathing in. Shoulders stay squared as the knee bends, heel draws to the glutes, and then hips begin to open. Inhale, lift the knee high. Exhale, squeeze the heel in, square through the shoulders. Breath in, lift higher. Exhale, hold. Breathing in. Exhale. So we straighten through the left leg. Square up the hips as the knee draws onto the body. Tiger curl, knee through to chest or forehead. Inhale. Stepping left foot through between the hands, right knee lowers to the mat, toes tucked. Arms sweep to the sky. Cactus arms, exhale. Sweeping to the sky. Exhale. If you'd like to add the legs for the next 3, we'll straighten through the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Hovering right knee off the floor. Breath in. Exhale. One more time, breathing in. Exhale. Right knee all the way down to the mat, hands to the front of the mat. We'll float the left leg all the way back in line with the hips. Right arm reaching out, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more, where we can tuck the right toes, hover the right knee. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Exhale. Reach and lengthen out. Right hand returns to the mat. Right knee down to bring the left leg through the arms into your half split, flattening the right foot to the floor, folding forward. Square through hips, reach the heart forward each time you inhale. Exhale, hinging from the hips, folding down. Supported side plank, hands walking around the right side of the mat, swiveling on the right knee. Ground, sweep the top arm to the sky. Maybe it stays reaching up, or we can float overhead. Drive the hips forward as they lift, contract more through the right side, lengthen through the left. Switch the activation through the obliques, bring yourself up, contracting through the left, lengthening through the right, gate pose over the left leg. Hands coming to the hips, lengthening through the spine. We'll swivel the face back towards the front of the mat, grounding through the hands, sliding left leg back. From here we can come into high plank, or you might like to stay in the tabletop. If you're in tabletop, knees, chest and chin. From high plank, chaturanga dandasana, shifting the body forward, bending into the elbows, hold and hover, squeeze on the core before lifting into your heart opener, whether that be your upward facing dog or perhaps the baby cobra. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart forward, drive the floor away. We're meeting back in downward facing dog with the option to move through child's pose along the way. And from your downward facing dog, I'll start to walk the feet in nice and slowly towards the hands, making your way to ragdoll at the front of the mat. A slight bend in the knees. You might like to let the hands dangle, or you can take hold of your elbows and bring that gentle sway from left to right. And from ragdoll, we ripple through each vertebrae, hands release, heavy through the head as you roll up through each vertebrae, one at a time. All the way to mountain pose, Tadasana. Rolling a few times through the shoulders, squeezing them back and down. Standing tall, ground through the feet, arms down by your side, palms face forward, and checking the engagement through your core. So a little flexion here through the abdomen, hips are forward, lower rib tucks in. Arms sweep up and overhead, breath in. And folding forward, exhale, straight legs, Uttanasana. Holding Uttanasana for 3 breaths, drive through the feet, lift the hips high. Draw the navel to spine, exhale, fold forward. Reach your heart towards your big toe, inhale. And then relaxing your neck, crown of the head drops down, exhale. Inhale, bring the hips just that little bit further forward and continue to drop down, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift, hands slide up shins, breath in. Exhale, hold. Inhale, reach the crown of the head further forward, draw your shoulders back. Exhale. Take one more breath in. Hands coming down to the floor, sliding your left leg all the way back, grounding it to about 45 degrees, lifting the arches of the feet, square the hips forward, Virabhadrasana 1, arms sweeping to the sky. Drop down deeper into your Warrior 1 position, continuing to adjust through the hips, checking this core is switched on and engaged, shoulders are drawing back, reaching up high through fingertips. Breath in, exhale. Breath in, exhale. Take one more inhale, exhale. Reach up high through tips of fingers as you breathe in. Warrior 2, exhale, swivel back foot, open up through hips, open up through arms. And remembering our steadiness and ease in the posture and allowing the breath to communicate and guide you through each pose. If the breath ever gets caught, make a slight modification through your posture, maybe just easing out slightly and then allowing the exhale to guide you back into that depth. Flip, reverse the warrior, breathing in and exhale. Breathe in, exhale. One more breath in and exhale. Low lunge twist, arms up through center, all the way around, left hand to the floor, right arm sweeps to the sky, toe tips of your back foot, squaring up the hips. Roll the shoulders back, lifting your heart up towards the right hand. So from here, take our left hand just a little bit further out to the side, fingers spread wide, and begin to externally rotate it down into the mat. Left knee comes to the floor, sweeps to the side, and right leg returns to a side plank. From your side plank, you can hold the bottom leg grounded, or we're pressing through the right foot, driving the left hand to hover the bottom knee off the floor. And then you might be able to draw the knee in towards your chest and extend it all the way out towards the front of the room. Hold here, breathing here, lift the hips higher. We're going to hold for 4, 3, and 2, and 1. If you're hovering the left leg, keep hovering. Both hands come down to the floor. Weave it under the body. Float it back, three-legged dog. Taking that through a 3-legged vinyasa, or straight back to your downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, we'll lift the gaze towards the hands with the option to step or jump the feet through the hands. Halfway lift. Fold it forward, rise to standing, sweep arms overhead. Tadasana, arms by your side. Udvastasana, sweeping overhead. Uttanasana, exhale, hinging at the hips. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Stepping back, Virabhadrasana 1, hands ground, right foot to the back of the mat, 45 degrees. Square the hips while you're in your low lunge, and then sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale deep into the lunge, square through the hips, engage through the core. 3 breaths. Warrior 2 with the next exhale, swiveling the feet, open through the hips, open through your arms. Reverse your warrior without changing the shape through the legs, front palm flips, reach to the sky, inhale, exhale. Low lunge twist, up through center, right hand to the floor, left arm to the sky, toe tips at back foot. And then from here we take this back into a supported side plank. So start with the right hand, getting that in a nice position, twisting or externally rotating through the arm. Right knee lowers to the mat as your left leg sweeps back. So again, the option to stay here, grounded through the bottom leg, or you can press more through the left foot and the right hand until the right leg is free. And then you can float knee to chest and extend out in front of the body. 4 breaths, lift the hips high, press the floor away for 3, and 2, and 1. Keep floating that right leg if it's out to the side, hands come down to the floor. We'll sweep it to the sky, 3-legged dog. Moving through your flow. Moving back and downward facing dog. And then gazing to the hands, we'll step or jump to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Rise to standing. Tadasana, arms by your side. Upward salute, sweep them overhead. Forward bend, exhale. This time, chair pose, knees bend, hips drop, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, deepen chair, knees draw back, toes are visible. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale. Inhale. Keep reaching out through the arms and fingertips of Virabhadrasana 1. So we keep a deep bend in the right knee as the left leg slides back into Warrior 1. Exhale. Inhale. Transition Warrior 2. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Flip and reverse, breath in. Low lunge twist. Side plank. The option to float bottom leg, extend it out. It's a little different. Hold your side plank, hold the floating variation. Otherwise, we can bring both hands down to the mat. Keep that leg out to the side. Chaturanga push-up. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Maybe the quadricep comes into the back of the right arm. You might be able to just float it forward into your Vinyasa 1 for 3, 2. Right foot down, left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Take that through your flow. And pressing back, downward facing dog. That's important as we start to increase the intensity that you remain aware of your breath. Slowing it back down to your Ujjayi flow. We'll look towards the hands. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold it forward. Chair pose, knees bend, arms look to the sky. Exhale, deepen chair. Inhale, reach up higher. For 3, and 2, and 1. Left knee stays bent, right slides back. Warrior 1, breath in. Exhale. Transition, inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Flip and reverse. Low lunge twist. Side plank. Maybe driving the hand and foot to lift the bottom knee. Float it out in front of the body. Holding here or hands come down to the mat. Push-ups for 3, for 2, for 1. Option for Vinyasa 1, bringing the right knee, quadricep to the back of the tricep. Floating through the legs. 3, 2. Left foot down, right leg to the sky. Move that through your flow. And downward facing dog. Either holding in your downward facing dog or taking a child's pose. Hold for 2 more breaths. And downward facing dog if you're in child's pose, making your way up. Right leg floats high to the sky. Tiger curl knee through to chest or forehead. Hold breath in. Step down between the hands. Virabhadrasana 1. Ground the left foot, square the hips, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale. Breathe in. Hands releasing behind the back, preparing for humble warrior. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders, even giving them a roll back, lift the heart high. Bowing to the inside of your right leg. Fists begin to draw overhead. Releasing the crown of the head down to the earth. So we will use the momentum of releasing from Humble Warrior to lift straight into Virabhadrasana 3. So that means as the hands release, they sweep down past the earth. Torso squares up as the arms sweep forward, weight comes into the right leg, left floats. Hands can be at heart space so they can reach out in front of the body. So we've been doing the transition from Warrior 1 to Warrior 2, which is closed hips to open hips. Let's do the same thing in a standing balance. Virabhadrasana 3 to half moon. Start to squeeze the glutes, stacking the left hip on top of the right, opening the arms to shoulder height. Two more breaths. Full engagement and activation through the body. Keeping the hips open, bend into the right knee. Take the left leg to the back of the mat, Warrior 2. Flip and reverse warrior, inhale. Hold for the exhale. Straighten through front leg, breath in. Exhale. All the way up through center. Trikonasana, check the glutes are squeezing. The legs externally rotated as you hinge from the hips. Reaching forward, right hand down to either shin, ankle or floor. Left arm to the sky. We'll hold the same position through the body as we move into extended side angle by bending into the right knee. Feel free to take any adjustments here, perhaps sliding the right forearm up onto the thigh. If you have a bind in your extended side angle, you can take the bottom arm underneath as the top arm comes over top and lifting the heart to the sky. If you've taken a bind or release, to lift the left arm back up and overhead. Vasisthasana, side plank. The option this round to stack the feet into your full side plank. So we're on our left side, left hand down, lift the hips, reach out through the arms. Keeping the feet stacked or the bottom knee grounded, otherwise we can float the right leg to the sky. You're going to bend the knee, heel draws to the glutes, lift the knee even higher. Hold here. Maybe adding a wild thing. Right foot grounds, hips roll, shoulders open, reaching overhead. From wherever you are, side plank or wild thing through to fallen triangle. We're switching the weight on the hands, right hand to the floor. Right leg passes under the body. extends out into that floating side plank. Left arm extends to the sky. Also the option here to reach for your right leg and lift it high. Hold here for 3. For 2, lift the hips higher. And for 1. As we release, both hands to the floor, right leg high to the sky. And we're stepping the right leg through the hands. Bring the left leg to follow, and lower sit bones to the mat. Legs extend out. We're going to keep a nice long spine here. Wherever you take the hands will determine the intensity of this little core exercise. Hands at the hips are a little more gentle. Hands towards the knees makes it stronger as we start to fold forward and requires more compression through the legs. So ground through the hands, and for 6 repetitions, long spine and floating the feet up off the floor. So lengthen, drive the hands down, press through the fingertips, and let's begin. We'll go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold this last one for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Hands back behind the hips, fingers are pointing forward, knees bend, feet flat to the floor. Roll the shoulders back, drive the hands down, lift the heart. Reverse tabletop, drive through the feet, lift the hips high to the sky. Knees, hips, shoulders in line, belly button draws in, chin can remain tucked, or if it's comfortable for the neck, you can allow the head to roll back. Wherever you go to, I'll hold here for 3, and 2, and 1. Sit bones lower to the mat. Allow the forehead to drop in towards the knees, maybe even giving the knees a little hug. Back to the seated position. Hands can take hold of the shins, the thighs, or maybe reach out in front of the body. Drive into the toes, lifting your heels, lengthen through the spine. Then we can float the legs, chins coming up to parallel. Might feel a little bit more burnt out through the hip flexors, I know I definitely am. We'll hold here in Navasana. We'll start to flatten lower back to your low boat position. Head, shoulders, heels stay lifted off the floor. Lots of flexion through the abdomen. Keep that crunching as you reach towards the toe tips. Let's flutter through the feet as they gently kick for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it, open them wide, scissor the legs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold low boat, take it to your high boat. Cross the ankles, either roll through the knees or you can ground through the hands. Press the floor away, sweep the legs back and through as best you can. Flow through a vinyasa, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, left leg high to the sky, left foot steps through between the hands. Virabhadrasana 1, ground the back foot, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale. Square hips, ground through the feet. Humble warrior, hands behind the back. If you can remember how you interlace the hands the first time around, do the opposite interlacing through the hands. Roll through the shoulders, lift the heart. Bow it forward, exhale. And then using the arc of your release to give you that little bit of momentum to lift into Virabhadrasana 1 or Virabhadrasana 3. We'll release the arms, legs sweep down as they reach forward, balance comes in to the left leg, right leg floats. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Start with the hips, square and open. Reach the arms. A little bend through the left knee as you step all the way back into Warrior Two. Flip and reverse the Warrior. Straighten through your front leg. Inhale up. Squeeze glutes. Trikonasana. Left hand to shin, ankle or floor. Top arm to the sky. Extended side angle, bending into the left knee. Reaching the top arm overhead. Remember, there's always a modification to bring the forearm to the thigh. Otherwise, we can move into a bind. Top arm over, bottom arm weaves under, heart swivels. If you've taken your bind, or release the bind, floating the right arm overhead. Vasisthasana, side plank, right hand grounds. Supported side plank or feet stack. Drive the hips high, left arm to the sky. Option to float legs. If you're taking the floating legs, hold that, bend the knee, heel draws into the glutes, and start to swivel the heart to the sky. Step it back for a wild thing, left hand foot grounds, reaching overhead, peel through the shoulders. Fallen triangle, both hands to the floor, left leg now passes under the body, out to the side, with the option to take a bind on the foot, lift the hips, lift the foot to the sky. For 4, 3, and 2, and 1. We'll take it high, three-legged dog. Left foot steps through between the hands. Right foot follows, lowering back on the sit bones, and legs extend. Hands either at the hips, mid-thigh or knees. 6, lift of the legs, point through the toes. We go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the last one for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Reverse tabletop or reverse plank, so either bending the knees or keeping the legs extended. Hands ground behind the sit bones, roll through the shoulders, lift the heart, chin to chest, drive the hips to the sky. Chin stays tucked to check the alignment through heels, knees, hips and shoulders, belly button in. Hold them here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. Knees draw in, forehead to the knees. Navasana, boat pose, balancing on sit bones, lengthen through the spine, heels lift, shins can float. Bring the prayer to your heart, rotate to the right. Or maybe open the arms here. Bring the prayer to heart, through center, open to the left. Maybe open the arms. Hands to heart, through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, palms together. Return through center. One more each time. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. High boat, low boat. Lower back flattens. Head, heels, hips, so shoulders stay elevated. Flood through the feet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, scissor through the legs, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, lower down onto your back. I'll tell you what, I definitely worked up a little bit of a sweat this morning. Hope you're feeling the same at home. From our reclined position, setting up for bridge. Feet drawing in, feet and knees hip width distance apart, heels close enough to brush. I always like to think the nice thing about doing all that core work before moving into bridge is we can feel the activation or the support through the core muscles as we lift into this spinal extension. As we press through the feet, tucking the tailbone, begin to roll the hips and then roll each vertebrae all the way up to the shoulders. Once you reach the shoulders, they can walk a little further down, perhaps you can squeeze in closer together. Palms can be flattened to the earth, or the option to interlace the fingers and bring the palms of the hands together, fist pressing down. Feel into the core muscles through the abdomen as the navel just gently draws the spine to drive hips higher. Press shoulders back more. Lift for 3, for 2. If the hands are interlaced behind your back, release. Roll through each vertebrae, hips to the floor. Walk your feet as wide as the side of the mat and knock your knees in towards each other. 2 breaths. And take a second round of bridge. Feet and knees back, hip width distance. Brushing the heels. Engaging through core. Lift the hips, roll through each vertebrae all the way to shoulders. Tucking through the shoulder blades. Either holding here in your bridge, or we can float the arms directly above the shoulders and flattening the palms as if you're pressing the ceiling away. So elbows roughly stay in the same position as the elbows bend to bring the hands either side of the ears. So elbows shoulder width distance apart, even weight through the hands, Urdhva Hastasana, upward bow, driving through the hands into your upward bow or your wheel. And once you're in this upward bow shape, if you're moved into that modification, check out your wrist, the amount of flexion coming through, extension through the wrist, pressing through the whole hand, the fingertips, maybe using the legs to just bring the heart a little further forward as you straighten through the arms. Core is engaged, 3 more breaths. And if you're in your upward bow, chin to chest, shoulders lower down. All together we roll through each vertebrae, hips to the floor. This time soles of the feet together and knees drop open wide. And bring the hands underneath the knees. Gently lift them up together to touch. And just drawing the knees in towards the body as close as they can get without the sacrum lifting. I'm going to keep the back of the hips flat to the floor and a little rock from left to right. You might prefer to stay here with knees to chest, or you can take your happy baby, holding the outside edges of the feet, lifting the feet to the sky, knees draw either side of your ribs, and you can continue those rocking motions from left to right. If you'd like to take your inversion a little bit further into your shoulder stand, then from happy baby, we take the toes up and overhead, hips nice and high, elbows close or shoulder width distance apart, support the back of the hips, straighten the legs. Checking the weight of the legs is coming back down through the arms and across the shoulders. Head is nice and light, gaze directly up towards the toes. Either holding your shoulder stand or taking that over to plow pose, hinging at the hips, toes lower overhead.
or support the hips until the toes touch down, with then the option to release the arms or interlace the hands and squeeze the palms down. From wherever you are, supporting yourself to slowly roll through each of the vertebrae till the hips touch down, till the legs extend and lengthen out. Fully reclined on your back. A little counter posture for the thoracic spine and shoulders with fish. Hands either coming down beside the hips or maybe just partially wedging the thumbs underneath the glutes. Start to externally rotate through the arms. Press the forearms down, squeeze the shoulder blades back as the sternum pops and lifts up towards the sky. Maybe the crown of the head touching down on the mat. 3 exhales through an open mouth. And spine releases down. And we'll rebend the knees, feet flat to the floor. Figure 4 or your reclined pigeon. Let's start with the right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Toe tips of the right foot drawing back towards your knee. Either holding here, or you might like to begin to draw the knees in towards the chest. Take hold of the back of either the left thigh or the shin. Now taking hold of the leg, ensuring that the shoulders can maintain their connection or anchoring to the earth. Also the option here to drive the right elbow to your inner thigh, just to explore a little extra opening through the hip. As we release the left leg, foot comes back down to the floor. You might like to unbind the legs or perhaps completely twist them around into an eagle bind, Garudasana. For our twist, lifting the hips slightly to the right to lower the legs over towards your left. Shoulders stay connected to the earth. Option to also just gently roll the head to gaze over towards your right side. And knees return through center. Unravel the legs. Realign the hips to the center of the mat. This time left ankle crossing over the right thigh. Left toes pointing back towards your knee. You can hold here with the legs in the position they are. Or you can start to draw knees in towards chest. On the release, you can unbind or continue to twist the legs all the way around themselves. This time the hips lift slightly to the left side as your knees lower to the right. Knees return through center. Unravel the legs. Take a moment here. If there's any final adjustments, postures, or movements you would like to make before we completely relax and release into our final resting shape, Shavasana, your corpse pose. Extending the legs. Once the legs touch down, allow them to switch off and roll open to the sides. You might take a little bit of a walk of the shoulder blades, tuck them underneath the body as the arms open to the side of the room, palms turned up. And just finding that nice sweet spot for the head. And back to the gentle flow of the natural breath without control or restraint. Free to flow in and out of your body. As you bring awareness back to your natural breath, you might notice how it's beginning to change over the time that you're being reclined back in your Shavasana. You can invite movement to return through your fingers and your toes as you continue to monitor your breath. Movement increases through the legs and arms to your full body stretch, pointing through the toes. So reach your arms up and overhead, take a full breath in. Sigh, release the exhale. Knees hug into the chest. Nice big squeeze, perhaps even a little rock from left to right. Gently lowering over onto your right side. And take your time to make your way up into a seated position. Rolling through the shoulders a few times. Sweep the arms open wide. Up and overhead. Palms press together. Prayer lowers through third eye. Across your throat to your heart. Now let's complete this morning's practice with 3 chants of Om. If you're not in a position or a place where you can chant out loud, options would be to do a chant through a closed mouth and feel the hum, or just maybe a little bit more of an active exhale, feeling the vibration move through the body. So we'll start with the next exhale, breathing in. And as your prayer begins to rise, your head bows forward until the thumb meets the third eye. From this point, we greet ourselves and each other with Namaste.